we are saying, look, if you really, really want to survive in your marriage relationship, you have to love one another deeply without any conditions. You have to prioritize each other. You have to love one another. And then the second one, what we call the gifting string. And the gifting string is basically dealing with what is the best gift that you can give to your spouse? What's the best gift? What's the best gift? Do you know your spouse? Do you know even their love languages so that you can know how to touch them? And there is no better gift that you can give your spouse other than presence. Just being present, just being there for them. And so we go really, really deep into the gifting stream. And then we have the sharing stream. The sharing stream basically talks about how do you share ideas? How do you share your daily life together? How open are you? And then we have the sex stream. That's the fourth one. The sex stream. This is one of the most important streams in every marriage. It has to be bubbly. In fact, studies have shown that you could even have all the money in the world as a couple. But as long as that area is suffering, there will always be a gap in the relationship. That's the sex stream. And then from the sex stream, we have the guardian stream. The guardian stream is loyalty, being loyal to one another, taking care of one another, guarding each other. These are now things like fidelity. Infidelity comes in. We have to guard each other and take care of one another. We take care of ourselves as well, so that we don't hurt each other in that sense. And then the last one is the talking stream, but it's not the least. It's one of the most important. Actually, it's the bloodstream of every relationship. That's the talking stream. And so basically, that's more or less like our philosophy. It's based on those 6 streams, which are like the Gita streams. So in a nutshell, that is where we are now. So we are using these 6 streams to craft the classes that we are teaching relating to the marital fitness. And we were actually designing the classes this week, and I can already give you some of the examples of the classes that we are going to be teaching. One of them is stop arguing and start listening. It's a very simple, it's simple problem, but really broad. So teaching couples how to communicate effectively. So the title is Stop Arguing and Start Listening. We'll also be teaching them, another class we'll be holding is how to understand your wife, how to understand your husband. So we'll be making the 3 classes. And then the other class we'll be holding is who initiates sex with marriage, who initiates sex. And then we'll also be having another class which is on who is the right person to marry. How do I know I'm making the right choice? We'll be coming up with all these very interesting classes that are now boiling down to specific problems in the society. Specific problems and trying to solve them. So the idea is to have a class where we have people coming in. We use stories a lot. Our teachings are based on stories from other couples, stories from other people. Stories are the key elements that we use when we are teaching. And then, so we teach people, we use the facts, we share stories, practical stories. We also share from our own story. We have so many stories, even in our books, about ourselves. And then we get to a session where people are now sharing and giving us also the ideas. So the classes will be about, let's say, 2 to 3 hours, with, of course, a break in between. So that is my big mouth, a long story.
And just remind me again your title, and your degree was in doctorate level, same with your husband, and you have a deep history of working in, I see, the International Court of Justice. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so as in the prosecution division, and your
Yeah.
husband also, both of you from Kenya.
Yeah.
And it's Dr. Beatrice Lukose with an MBA and a DBA. And this is the marriage school, what you were just explaining to us. And
Yeah. So what
they're going to be taught. Is it in Rotterdam only, or you said online as well, but the on the ground classes, where will they be?
So the Motivational School of Marriage and Life is completely different from what we are doing in our career.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is what we are doing as a way of giving back to the society.
Okay.
So it's like also a foundation. So it's a foundation that me and my husband have founded. And so there is no link between that and the United Nations job or the work we're doing in the international justice.
Okay.
So basically, my background is in business administration. So I'm a doctor in business administration, DBA. I have a DBA. And that is where now professionally I also help with the judicial system here. I am more in the management team. And it's actually from here that we realize that a lot of problems that we're also dealing with at a humanitarian level, they are actually engineered from the house.
Yeah.
And so there could be a correlation in that sense. We realize, oh my goodness, we are dealing with cases here, and we are looking at the victims, we are looking at the people that are suffering also in the villages, the cases that we're dealing with. And we realize, oh my goodness, even all the atrocities, they're actually boiling down to the home somewhere and children suffering. And that's actually one of the things that also really drove us to come out and start dealing with the society and helping families. So my husband has a doctorate in computer science, and he also has a lot of training also in management, including an MBA. So both of us in that sense, we are doctors, quite involved in the academic world, and we feel that right now to use the knowledge that we have to give back to the society. So what we have is actually a foundation. It's a foundation which we are using as a platform to educate people and to at least that there is some sense of professional help
Mm-hmm. Wonderful.
going to people out there, especially in Africa. In Africa, we're having a lot of young people coming out and they're telling us, look, we can't even afford that professional help. And that really hurts us. And so we decided, some of them, we have given them free access to these online, the online services so that they can be able at least just to listen. But we, of course, do need also to keep supporting the systems,
Mm-hmm.
keep going. So sometimes we have to sell. So for those that can afford, they can contribute something into the foundation.
Yes.
So we are still on the ground level. We are growing and putting the systems together, seeing how they can work. But like you mentioned, we definitely do need to do a little bit of marketing and a lot of visibility as well.
So where will you be teaching exactly?
We'll be teaching actually here in the Hague, actually in the Hague. We have established, we are members of a church here in the Hague.
Okay.
And some of the facilities for that. We've been there for almost now 13 years in the church, and we actually also leaders in the church. So we'll be using the church facilities.
Okay. And do you have an idea when you start or how it will proceed, or are you still planning that?
For the classes, we are foreseeing starting in April. So as soon as the next week, we'll start now getting awareness,
Mm-hmm.
just to make sure people are aware of what we are offering and that they can register. The one online is already available. And the one online is very interesting because you're getting access to your people are getting access to not only the teaching about the 6 marriage streams, but we are also putting other materials from other authors, like the love languages, Gary Chapman. So you're putting some more material. So when somebody gets access, they're not only getting access to almost 100 hours of our own teaching, but they're also getting access to other people. And so what we're doing with that is we're allowing people to pay something a little every month, but then they have a full-time access. They can listen anytime, anywhere, and at their own convenient time.
Great.
So that's the program. The physical classes, those ones will be at a specific time. We might want to start with the evening. So to be at a specific time, maybe twice a week, or maybe twice or 3 times a week, and then we shall increase the intensity as time goes and demand.
Okay.
But still, yes, we plan to start in April.
And what do you think, Beatrice, about, it's Dr. Beatrice Lukose, and I'm calling you Beatrice, so I hope that's okay. Just what do you think about women in general right now? I know you have a lot of experience living in Kenya. It's a different world in each and every different African country. And then it's a different world in each continent, and it's a different world for every single woman herself. But if we look at the common thread between women right now and the fact that women are suffering in relationships, and they are also getting a lot of support and a lot of help right now in many movements and many things that are happening to support women. And men, as you told us as well, don't really know exactly what their role is in a relationship. They don't know how to help a woman blossom necessarily. What would you say is the biggest lie that women believe in life before they realize and then adjust it? This is what I think for me has been a really important piece of research, because as a clinical psychologist, I saw many, many women and mothers and wives and daughters question a lot of the time their worth. And men have a different struggle, a different challenge that I think men can speak more deeply about, even though I'm very interested in that as well. If we just look at the women for the moment, your experience living in Africa, now working here in The Hague for so long, seeing the international community as well around you, meeting all these people from all over the world through your work, what do you see? What do you think women are struggling with the most in terms of truth, that they're not quite, or they go through a time in their life where they're not clear about something? What would you say is the biggest lie that they believe?
That's a good question. I grew up in Kenya, on the slopes of Mount Kenya, very beautiful. And we were brought up mostly by my mom, because my dad was the daily bread earner. And so he was more or less in the city, while my mom and 5 of us were in the village. The advantage of growing up in the village is that we had a big farm, and so we ate really healthy food, very healthy food. We used to get everything from the farm. And I owe it all to my mom, very hardworking, very strong, um, waking up early in the morning, bringing together the women in the village and harvesting coffee. We still have coffee up to now, and harvesting tea, planting tea. And so it's through her that I realized what real life is, what living well means. Living well means being able to go to for example, to a farm and have something organic, something original. He taught me how to nurture, taking care of the plants. We used to plant them, and then we see them grow, and then we harvest and turn them to a meal. That was my mom. And she took care of us. And we all went to good schools. All of us, my siblings, went to university. And about 5 years ago, I received a phone call, and I was here in the office, and I was told, "Oh, mom is very sick. She's struggling with the breath on a sick bed." And all of a sudden, I wondered, wow, what could this be? What could be the cause? And within no short time, she was gone. And that really bothered me. And just like that was 4 years ago, about 6 years ago, she was diagnosed with cancer. And she fought through the cancer and came out victoriously, went through radiation and chemo. And so the question was now, what really happened? Now, basically, before my mom died, she had a good time with her best friend. She asked for that time. And what was revealed to us at that point is what has drawn me to women so much so that we even came up with this foundation. Now, my mom for years, and we didn't know that, was going through both emotional and some extent physical abuse from my own dad. And the emotional abuse was too deep. Well, scientifically, it has been shown that if you're going through constant stress in life, it doesn't matter how well you're eating, it will start eating onto your own health. And hence, all the symptoms that started now arising from my mom. And at one point, I asked her, "Mom, I know you eat really healthy food, really healthy. Even the mangoes, we have oranges, we have guava, we have cassava in this land. Actually, I call it the Garden of Eden. It has literally everything."
Yeah.
So I had started asking her, "Why is this happening? Are you all right?" She never said a word. Even give us a like she's going through anything.
Wow.
And so I now later asked, I did my own research, why couldn't she open up to us as children? Why couldn't she even confine with a brother? Why couldn't she confine with other ladies that she was helping in the society? And I was told it's because of cultural barriers. Women in my village, they are not supposed to talk about their marital issues completely in the open.
Wow.
And if he did, she would have been belittled, it would have been worse. And when this truth came out, it was a big shock to me. It was a really, really big shock. And I vowed and said, you know what? We are going to do whatever it takes to bring education into the system so that that young girl in the village can hear the truth. Even if she doesn't have the courage to open up, she will hear the truth. So that's what my mom did not hear at all. So she thought, okay, I am going through this issue now with my husband. I'm going through some difficulty. I am going through all this pain, but I cannot speak it out. But at the same time, it's not even on the radio or anywhere where she can hear the truth, even to open her eyes. So if you ask me, what lie did she listen to? What lie? What lie? And why did she believe in it? So she believed in this lie in the society that has come from generations to generations, that a woman will not open up when it comes to marital issues. She has listened to it, she heard it from her own mother, she has heard it from other women in the neighborhood, she has believed in it, it's even engraved in her. My mom passed away, and so she didn't live to hear the story I'm giving her. But my mother is still alive. So I sat my dad down, and it also pained me to realize he didn't know otherwise, because he also came from a polygamous background.
Right.
And that's how we came up with one of our books, specifically geared towards men. And we're also looking into a system of taking care of men also. So some of the events we'll be having are like men's dinner, we'll be having women's dinner, we'll be having couples dinner, we'll be having, for example, singles night. But so there's that lie out there in the society. But you know what I realized about women? They are such beautiful souls. If only they get a sparkle of the light, just a sparkle of it. That's all they need. Then they fly with it. The eyes get open, they believe in it, and they fly with it. And so that's what we're trying to see. Can we bring in that sparkle in the society about in a marriage, about a relationship?
Yeah.
Can we bring it into the society so that that lie that is a lie can be minimized and the truth starts shining?
It's so wonderful to meet you. And I'm very grateful for all the insight, all the work that you're doing, and the passion and devotion that you have towards really deepening people's respect and love in relationships. Because the story you share and the experience I've had too with many people around me and in different cultures as well, I think it's very real that women silence a lot of their own suffering.
Yeah.
In different ways. I think many people that have trauma also are very quiet about that for different reasons. But women have a certain kind of, like you say, with your mother, a certain kind of pressure, I think, in them that they need to protect sometimes the relationship, the image of the relationship, maybe even the man, because it's very, very much a conflict when you love somebody and they're abusive or they hurt you in ways where they can't fix it somehow. Like they don't know how to do it better. And it is absolutely about education and training. And I think it's great that the world can get now, finally, a lot of information about these things that have been hidden for a very, very long time.
Yeah, yeah. It's really helpful. I love my dad so much. We are very close. And he has actually moved on now. He has another beautiful wife, a beautiful lady. And it's nice to see him a changed man as we talk to him. So we are seeing him evolving and looking very good and charming. And he's even now boldly saying, I feel good and I'm in love, you know. So words that we never used to hear before.
Yeah.
So for the women, it's just a matter of awareness, creeping out.
And also how to really help the men learn how to do this differently, how to deal with their emotions and their anger differently, how to really support the women, like we say, to be able to blossom and to have women know that they don't have to silence their pain and their suffering. And it's a very big thing to come out though and say that you're abused and that you're suffering, because then you have to break up the relationship or you have to work on the relationship. And sometimes the couple, the individuals are not willing somehow. So maybe through this education, people can realize that they have a responsibility to be healthy and to be healthy to the person that they're with.
Exactly. That's why, like, one of the topics we are going to be teaching, and this will be recurring. So, like, for example, in the month of April, we are going to tackle like four topics. Four topics will be repeated throughout the year, so that those that miss the first time can attend the second class.
Yeah, right.
One of the topics that we'll be looking at is how to understand your wife, how to understand your husband.
Yeah.
And so how to solve financial conflicts in a marriage.
Yeah.
And the idea is people, even if they don't just listen, you know, they just listen and get something from it.
Yeah.
Because that's what is missing at the moment. There is a quick fix out there that if you have the sparkle anymore, you can always leave a relationship and begin afresh. Well and good. But what about those unresolved issues? They will come up again and again and again. So we would rather even just see how we can deal with the issues and manage them rather than keeping the ball, spin over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
So that's what we're trying to do now. And we're hoping that we'll be able to reach as many as possible. We definitely do need a platform to work with people like you. And I really like your vision and what you're doing. It's really, really very good. I'm looking forward to coming to Cyprus, by the way.
Lovely.
Yeah.
yeah, we look forward to it. Let's see how we can help each other. I will be very happy to support your cause in what ways I can. And I'm very glad that you joined me today. So the time is up for the interview, but don't go away. I'm just going to stop the interview and then we can talk just a little bit more. So bye-bye to everybody and thank you for watching.